Give directly, in their own words, send money directly to people living in extreme poverty. For people living in Kenya and Uganda, who can earn as little as $1 a day, $1,000 over a year can make a significant difference. But where do they spend the money? Typically, they spend the money in multiple areas, on consumables like food and medical expenses, and also more permanent spending, such as home improvements, assets, and investments. It may seem surprising, but spending on alcohol and tobacco doesn't see an increase. Feeling skeptical? Research and studies can compare different households and villages where some were given money and others weren't. Perhaps these methods aren't perfect, but over a year, it's plausible to keep track of the hours an adult is working or days a child is at school by talking briefly to employers or principals. The difference in housing can be observed by how many new roofs or even entire houses were built. Give Directly collaborates with organizations that perform these studies to help ensure that we know what we're doing. It does cost money to do this, but probably not as much as you might think. While this chart is from 2014, it shows how the donations are being spent. Most of the donation is going directly into the hands of the poor. The rest is being split between identifying the poorest people who really need this money, transferring currencies, making sure that there aren't any issues, and dealing with any that arise, and other traditional overheads. Why should you vote for Give Directly? Well, imagine you find a cold homeless poor person. It's not unreasonable to imagine that most homeless people might be cold, which might lead you to ordering 1,000 scarves and handing one out to every homeless person you meet over winter. But then perhaps the third homeless person you hand a scarf out to already has a big coat, but they're hungry. You could not give them that scarf, or you could give them the scarf anyway, but they can't eat the scarf, so what if you took a quick survey to determine how many scarves or apples you might need? That would probably be good enough in this scenario, but it takes a few hours of your time, effectively increasing the cost of the scarves and apples. Alternatively, instead of ordering scarves or apples, you could just give each homeless person $5 and let them decide whether they need a scarf or an apple more. This is one way to imagine how Give Directly works, not assuming what every poor person may need in order to ensure they can all benefit. Let's help the poor help themselves. Vote Give Directly.